Welcome to the Full Spark Podcast. This is the week of the 22nd of February. My name is Cam Gillens, and as always, my good pal and fellow racer in the Spark Racing League's mini stock series is Jacob Nickerson.
Hi. Yeah, I drive the 36. I got the back. That's on me. I got the background working there, so you can see my car.
It's gonna be a good one today because, well, you'll be able to see in a second. So we're just gonna go and start going into the results of this week's races, and this week we are starting out with the mini stocks. We didn't have it on our last episode because it was the week off, but so we're gonna start going into our Spark Racing mini stock series here, and we were at Charlotte Motor Speedway. For people that don't know about it, the Charlotte Motor Speedway at for these mini stocks, where it's practically a restrictor plate for the bigger cars, it is very close quarters, nose to tail, the whole 9 yards. Tell us how you thought about that, Jacob. There.
Honestly, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I feel like drafting tracks is probably my best uh ability. I seem to do well at Talladega, Daytona, and like when the street stocks and mini stocks go to Charlotte, I seem to do well there. So I had this race circled. I honestly probably put too much pressure on myself about this race, but I had it circled. I was like, this is my one.
Well, all right. Before we get into much, let's start the race. So as you can, go ahead.
Somehow qualified pole, and Mockey's next to me, and newcomer to the series, Justin Wilson.
So yeah, Jacob got the jump outs. It's like Johnny is right behind him, and as you can see, that they started getting really nose to tail really early. It's more like the tandem drafting that we're all kind of used to going through here.
Johnny started falling back a little bit. I lost my help. I was kind of all by myself. I'm like, oh no. I was seeing that outside row. I was like, I'm not staying here long.
The 13 of Jake Mockey just kind of popped out to the start, and Johnny Rapp, he tried to swing a little bit, going from the outside to the inside, doing like the tandem blocking and everything like you usually do when it comes to the restrictor plate racing.
This Justin was a hard one to pass. He definitely knew how to control the lanes.
That seems to be a common thing that's been going on quite lately.
See, I was thinking to myself, do I ride here and just accept where I am, or do I try to lead the pack and like keep my engine cool? I was kind of worried about temperatures, but I was also thinking about gas mileage. I was like, realistically, if I just stay here, it's not the end of the world. But I think the over-competitionness of myself got ahead of me. I wanted to be up front the whole race.
Yeah. It's usually being out front is probably the better strategy going into these races like this. It says I've always, when I start doing it, I'm kind of in the mid-pack, and we all know if you're in the mid-pack in these type of races, you're pretty much in the hornet's nest, and it's pretty much going to create problems for you at some point.
So you see Marco was also trying to make a move on Justin. He was just able to control the lanes. No one wasn't letting anybody by him. Yeah,
So it looks
for what you said, there was one place I damn well didn't want to be in, and that was mid-pack. I was like, as long as I'm ahead of everything, I should be okay.
it's like it looked like Maki and all them. We're just kind of starting to maybe do a little bit of side drafting, like you can see right there between you and just in there.
Yeah, I was trying to go on that quarter, but I didn't want to get too close. And me being on a single monitor, I didn't know how close I was getting, so I was kind of like timid of that one.
Yeah. Oh, and they got. Oh, and there it is. Yep, there's the.
There's the first one.
There's the squeeze right there.
I was a bit kicking myself after that one, but you know, keep your head down, keep going at it.
I think we're gonna go on board with here in a second. Yep. It's like, do you remember if you just got hooked? I was just trying to see what was happening if you came down or he went up. I think he kind of gently went up and you just kind of got hooked.
From another camera angle, I don't know if you have it or not, but it just seems like the two on the bottom come up as into like both me and Maki, and that just creates chaos. Yeah, during the pit stop, I came in, see if he had any damage. Had no damage somehow. I was like, right on.
As you see, that 52 of Johnny Rapp get the jump start here.
That is one thing that both me and the 44 of Patrick O'Toole we both was starting in third gear because we did not want to miss third gear, and we figured we'll just catch back up to the draft later on in the race. So mine and the 44s and a few other people were staying in third gear. Our restarts weren't the best, but we were able to come back for it.
Yeah, it seemed like it was pretty much the restarts of all night, but the leaders would kind of get jumped out a little bit, and then after a few laps, the draft started to come and play and brought everyone back. As you can see right here, you're starting to come back on, Justin and Johnny here.
Yeah, I definitely started getting the pole in the draft, and I was like, all right. I was kind of thinking here, what do I do? Because I know in practice, these two could lock bumpers all day long. So I knew I was against a strong duo. I was like, I don't think I can take this as it is. So I just kind of sat.
Well, it's just like you could either just sit there or you could tap the brakes and get back to who can't remember who that is, but yeah.
Peter,
yes, okay, yeah. Peter Stewart. And it looks like then he finally got the toe, so that's when you and him started tandeming.
you know, I saw the 91 approach him, like, all right, we're going. And he didn't go.
He kind of laid back a little bit. I don't know if he got damaged during that first caution or
is a very strong possibility.
Hung back. Oh, yeah, it seemed like everyone got a little bit of something off of that first one.
So you see back further the pack, Maki making his way through again.
He's getting there with Patrick O'Toole.
Yeah, I think Johnny Rabb went up, and I was like, oh, I'm taking that. Thank you very much.
Guys got him caught on outside.
He opened the door like you're going into a McDonald's, so I was like, oh, sounds good, I'll take it. Thank you very much. I believe that's the two Phillips approaching our little pack now, so
yeah.
There's a bit of energy generating.
Yeah, sure the other Jacob just kind of got the toe off of everyone and kind of getting the momentum going. As you're on board with Ryan now.
He had a nice view, I'll tell you that much.
Now we're on board with you.
You just see Justin Wilson controlling the lanes.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here it comes.
Yeah, I get a run from hell, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know where to go. Maybe the next run. I don't know if I get a push from Ryan or what, but I just get a run from hell. I'm like, I can't not
Right
take
there,
this.
there it was. There it was.
And then I died.
And then
Me and my drafting partner of Peter Stewart just we got killed.
yep.
And yeah, I had like 2 minutes of damage. I was way in the back. I was like, all right, still not out of it. Head down. No matter how many times you get beat down, you get back up and fight again. So I was like, I'm fighting again.
I had one of them in the officials the other day that I got knocked out and seemed like there was multiple cautions. So whenever I got the chance, I just came in and damage repair. I came back and finished the top 5.
There you go.
That was a big run. Was it Maki and that
Thomas
Tom
Lickert.
Lickert? Yeah, he got out probably too far out, and the pack between looks like Johnny and Phillips, and then back to Justin started coming back at him.
You had behind Tom and Jake Maka, you had two very strong drafting duos, and I don't know what you could have done.
Ooh. Pretty much that, exact that.
Yeah. You just try to fend for your life.
Try not to get in the way, because if they get some momentum too wide like that, you're either gotta get split like that, or pretty much put in a wall. One of the two.
Something else with how these mini stocks drive this oval, they get real slidey in the corners. Whether it's the banking or just the small tires and the high speeds with these things or what, but it's very hard to hold that bottom line because you just keep sliding upwards and you're constantly fighting it. Especially if you're in the draft, you have no front end.
Ooh.
And yeah, I think Johnny was trying to control the lanes and he hit the fish got fried. I'll say that much.
And now both the fishes are back together again.
Yeah, we're right together. Fish bond is strong.
That Justin gets the jump off with Tom Lickard right behind him and Jake Maki. That's what I said. Justin always got a whale of a jump. So this guy strung out single file for a couple laps.
Yeah, a few cautions came in. Like, all right, let's try to be calm for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Keyword is try.
Try, yeah.
If you've seen anything from these mini stocks, the things we know the least is how to keep it calm. We all got cool heads mostly, but the way we race each other is hardly ever calm.
It's funny because the mini stocks have probably the least amount of cautions out of all the series. Don't know how that happened, but
that's what you get. You get like aggressive but clean racing.
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize how much me and Peter Stewart in the 91 car worked together in this race.
Oh, yeah, you were, especially once he got back on the back of you, you're pretty much the full rest of the race was right there next to each other.
I hear someone grinding a wall somewhere.
It's there in there.
I think the fish got fried again. Yeah, caution came out. I was not expecting it, so I had to dive down to the inside.
Uh-huh. Next to 69 and the 42.
Seems like the 42 got a run, and
yeah, and either Larry came down on him or
I think one came down, one came up trying to occupy the same space, and then Nathan almost went to the moon. So
yeah, pretty much how usually all those go. And I think by now this is maybe what 10 laps ago, if that. I don't even know if it's that now.
I'm thinking this is the last restart because to peel back the curtain, during practice, my drafting partner was the 44 Patrick O'Toole, and I was behind him, and I key up in the voice chat, Pat, you remember practice? And he goes, I'm ready. And then I mess up the restart, and we get very far apart from each other.
Yep. Okay. Yep. This is the last couple laps.
Yeah. So I'm sat there in 7th at this point. I'm thinking, well, I'll just take what I can get here. Justin kind of pushes the 13 down a bit, but he keeps a hold of it. And then him and Ryan get together, Mocking and Ryan get together, and it's the big one. I don't know how I didn't murder Patrick. I'll be honest, I should be attending his funeral right now, with me next to him in the coffin.
So yeah, this is white flag. It's going to the last corner here.
At this point, I'm thinking, I'll take 3rd, I should be 7th. Realistically, I should be dead. And I see this happen in front of me, I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh, you kept it, just kept it straight, and it was funny because I saw that, I seen it came on the U3, and I know those two in front of you. I'm like, you just stay right there, Jacob. Just stay right there. They're gonna get into each other. That's exactly what happened.
I saw Phillips turn it down. It's like, I'm not lifting. I'm going on the apron. There's no way letting this go.
Yep.
Well, Phillips went down, but he saw the speed I was coming. He's like, ah, never mind. I'll let him have it. I don't want to die twice.
So here's the results. We're talking to your winner of the night, so the 36 of Jacob Nickerson. He's like won it from the pole, so that was even cooler. Second, we got the other Jacob Phillips. Then third was Steve S. Fourth was Peter Stewart. Fifth was Tom Lickert. Sixth was Paul Thomas. Seventh was Johnny Rapp. Eighth was Larry Pauling. Ninth was Ryan Phillips. Finish out your top 10 was Justin Wilson. And then Jake Mockey, Patrick O'Toole, and rounding out the field. And 13th was Nathan Gentry.
If you look at the qualifying and the race results, it seems like a very, like, oh, I led every lap, it's fine. Wasn't that way. Not at all.
Yeah, it's just, look at all the rest of those going on through there. It's just pretty much all jumbled.
Tell you what, on that last restart, I turned on my radio in my car. There was Chumbawamba playing. It was telling me you get knocked down, but you get back up again. And I was like, I'll take your word for it.
All right, that's funny. Chumbawamba, that's funny. All right, we're about to our street stock portion. Do we have Braxton coming in along with us?
I'm sending him a message. Yeah, while he gets ready, I just want to say,
how about your winner's interview? You never got one, so here you go.
I just want to say that was an amazing race. I don't know how I won that thing, and it's just thank you to my sponsors, Team Jaws, Faffy & Co., which I guess is me, Southwest Stock Car Association, and one person that has been in my corner, rather I'm dead last early in the race, is my lovely girlfriend Emily. She's been amazing through all this. I'll be honest, I scared her a little bit. When I won the race, I screamed. She jumped out of the carriage. The cat went running.
That's I'm sure. I'm sure it's just shock with everyone.
I turned behind me. I was like, I won. And she's like, you scared the cat?
Which in turn scared me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kept talking to you. Out of the three Jacobs, but you were the only one that hadn't won yet, and we finally got the triple on that.
Yes, we just need the Jacob 1, 2, 3 like podium.
Yeah, that'd be great. So it has to be in mini stocks because you don't run any of the others.
Yeah. one of these next season, if things go right, I'll probably try to run late models as well as mini stocks.
Mm-hmm.
I'll run the double.
Mm-hmm. I said the late models are fun. It's like I enjoy them. All right, so which brings us to our next portion of the program. It'd be our number one hero card street stock prelim series, which on Monday nights before we hop into the late model scene. Is like these ones is pretty much like I said, just kind of a tandem on the late model stock series as we go into it. So drivers, there's been a few here and there that just hop on for this one and then not get into the late models, but I'm on the one that pops in here and there. If I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna do both of them. But yeah.
We have a street stock driver waiting to come in here.
Yeah. All right, we have go ahead.
A well-known street stock driver. You might know his name. We've probably said it a few times during the last week's podcast.
We're gonna say it probably a couple times during this time too. So join us is actually gonna be the winner from this past street stock race, and that's the number 8 Braxton DeWeese. Braxton, you got us?
I hear you.
Hey, thanks for joining us. We're just kind of talking on just finishing up our mini stock portion of the program, and now we're on to the street stocks, where it seems to be your specialty as of late.
Yeah, we've had a pretty good season so far. 7 races this far and 7 wins. So I mean, you can't ask for much more than that.
No, no, you can't. All right, we're gonna pop up the actual race, and we'll get your take on everything as we're going through it.
Sounds good.
So it looks like you're starting on the pole with Dave Grajewski on the outside.
Yeah, the plan going into this was, starting up front, you want to try to stay out front. So I wanted to make sure I had a good start. We were able to have a good start, be able to pull away about a couple car links. And, right around here, I'm telling myself, all right, let's try to get in the rhythm. We're just coming around to finish the first lap, but, you want to try to get a rhythm as fast as you can. And there's no better time to try to get in a real good rhythm than being out front by a good couple car links to try to, build that gap like we are right there and keep on rolling.
Yeah, it looks like you. If I remember, because I was in the back this whole time, and you'll see me once or twice. There I go in the back.
Seen you. Yeah, I seen you on the track. I was like, yeah, there's Cam.
Yeah, I pop in here and there. This week I'm kind of taking off, but actually I might pop in tomorrow night on the Xfinity side. I haven't decided yet, but we'll go back to this. I know my struggles were the difference, how I think it's because of the difference between the radial, the bias ply tires that these street stocks have. You kind of have to be a little bit more gingerly. I don't know if that's the case for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you definitely, if you're leaning more tight or more loose, then you're just going to keep them tires heated up with the right front or the right rear. Mainly here, as you've seen so far, there's been some pretty good racing. Some cars getting sideways and stuff. So, I mean, the more you get sideways, the more you're going to heat up that right rear, and it'll just keep getting slicker and slicker. It's like the more ice that's being built onto the track as time goes on during the run. But we had some pretty good battles here for a second.
Yeah, Johnny Rapp here, and I'm trying to think who that other one is.
I believe that's Levi Cox there in 54.
Yes, the 54, yeah. So he's always up there between these and the late models. And this week was kind of a throwback, so I know a lot of us had some throwbacks between both the street stocks and the late models. They're at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, no better track to do it at the North Wilkesboro, and they looked great.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It's very old school. I struggled more in the late models because I kind of tend towards more kind of a neutral setup, and I know the setup they figured out for the late models, it was kind of a little bit more loose. I don't know if you,
Yeah,
but oh,
you definitely
there I
have to
go.
be. Oh yeah, good save. You definitely have to be a little bit more precise with the late model stocks. I feel like with these street stocks, you can kind of let it hang out a little bit more, kind of lean on the right rear a little more. Like I said, oh, there he goes. Yeah,
Yes.
that's never good, but
Yeah, me and Dade were, as you've seen right there, we were kind of we've been battling back and forth for a couple of laps, and I was getting tight and then got loose coming off the corner, as you see that, and then he just got in the
it
wall and
happens.
shot out.
Yeah, the past couple weeks, the setups with the street stocks, they've honestly been a little bit more loose than I've expected. So,
Hmm.
it's honestly not really surprising to see cars get loose and have that situation right there. I've definitely had my share of overcorrecting and loose cars.
Hmm.
These cars definitely seem to have a bit of sway to them. And once you go past the amount of sway they can take, it's pretty well game over.
Yep, I agree.
It's
Most
100%.
definitely.
Yeah. And I think, like I said, I think that has a lot to do with the tire map that they've got for these ones. It's like you get a little bit of leeway, but once you step over there, you're pretty much done.
Yep, most
It's,
definitely.
it's like you get jumped out again between you and Levi.
Yeah, yeah, it's the same. Like I said with the beginning, Levi's he's pretty quick in all the stuff that he's in. He races in the 3 Series with Spark, like you were saying, with the street stocks, late models, and Xfinity Series, and he's up in the top 3 in points, and I believe in all 3 series. So he's a fast driver, and he's always up there challenging, me with these street stock races. And I had the same mindset as the start of the race. Try to get in a good rhythm, try to find your line. I felt pretty good running that low line right there. I felt like if I ran a little bit higher, I would, uh, you know, burn a right rear off, just trying to,
Hmm.
drive it off the corner. I feel like in these cars, if you can, just with any of the short track cars, if you can find a way to enter the corner as fast as you can, obviously, and find a braking point to where it's stable and to where you can let off the brake around halfway from the trail
Hmm.
brake, then you can really set yourself up for a good center and exit. A huge key of racing on these ovals is your entrance. I mean, if you screw up the entrance, you're gonna, in my opinion, you screw up the rest of the turns, and
Hmm.
that doesn't help. You want to try to be as consistent as possible. So, I ran up a little bit higher right there, um, but I believe after that I was like, you know what, we need to go back down. Like I said, it gets a little bit more loose the more you go up there. But as this run goes on, I was like, I hope I'm not wearing up my right rear too much. I feel like as this goes on, you'll see the car wiggle just a little bit. And I was like, all right, we got to be a little ginger on that. Because earlier with me saying if you lean on that right rear, it's, it just gets hotter and hotter. And, you don't really, a loose car is fast, but if it gets too loose, like you guys are saying over that,
Hmm.
if you step over that mark, then, you're just done for.
Yeah. I think we're about getting to the last few laps of this race. Before we let you go, I know you guys very little time to join us, so I appreciate that. And if there anyone you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that. And before I say any of the sponsors and supporters of that support me, I just want to say I appreciate you guys letting me come on here and kind of talk about this race a little bit. Race at North Wilkesboro is always interesting. It's always,
Hmm.
especially if it's during the day and hot. It's slippery,
Hmm.
slidey, and makes tire wear a huge deal. So, I just happy that for y'all to let me come on here and recap the sixth win in a row I had, and uh, hopefully we can keep it up. But it's cool that you guys are doing this. I really appreciate you guys doing this. But big shout out to Interstate Ford, Mountains Arts Images, Three Dips Ice Cream Shop, Vince Publical, Jane's on Main, Derice Renovations, Adrenaline Captures, Booth 34 Diecast, Short Track Report, Scrub and Tires Media, Blaze Designs, Evan Pineda Designs, Chance 3 Design Shop, and Bully Dog Coffee Company. If you want, you can use Brax5 for a 10% off code over in the checkout for any of the coffee that you want to try or you're gonna buy again. So I appreciate all them for supporting me. And like I said before, I ran down that list. I appreciate you guys for allowing me to come on here and recap the Street Stock race.
Yeah. So we appreciate you coming out. Thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir. You all have a good one.
You too.
Nice having you on.
All right, that was the winner of that race with Braxton DeWeese. as you can see on that, we run down the results on that one. Like he turned out to be the win. Levi Cox in 54, the second. Johnny Rapid at 52 is third. Benson Weaver in the 1, the fourth. Ryan Phillips rounds out the top 5.
And for past that, you got Fixu Barker in 6th place. You got Steve Vest in 7th. You got good old Cam Gillens, star of the show.
struggle.
In 8th place. Jacob Phillips in 9th. And Dave Drusky in 10th. Now, don't let this race fool you. The mini stock field is amazing. We just happened to be on the bottom half of this race. It was a bad week for the mini stock drivers everywhere else. This is an oddball race, okay?
Yeah. You say, we're gonna continue the struggle bus for me this next go around, as you'll be able to see in the second one, because that brings us to our rescreened late model tour portion of today's program. It's like, oh, I struggled actually pretty horribly on this one. It's like me and Braxton were talking about that the late models, the setup that they had on boards pretty much swing us to the blue side, and like I said, I was kind of struggling to get any actual momentum down or anything. And there's been a time that you'll see in a second that I kind of got jumping up a couple times, that and got loose. So we'll start going into that one. We've got the 15 of Kyle Turczak, the pole, 27 of Ryan Phillips.
54 of Levi Cox hanging out behind them. Behind them, I believe that's Jacob Phillips and
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, to be called. That it's our crown jewel throwback race. It's a little bit longer than what we've had before. I think if I remember correctly, it was like 124.
120, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's 120, 124.
Yeah.
This was a money race too, wasn't it?
Yeah. Like I said, it was the crown jewel. So like I said, between that, we'll go through the field and you'll see some throwback paint schemes and everything like we were talking about.
Dude, there was some solid looking throwbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And then you already have a little bit of a jumble up.
Oh, yep.
So you think about this track, there's almost like 2 ways of driving it. Where one way is being easy into the corner and hard out, and the other way is being hard in and easy out. And when you have those 2 styles clashing, that's when you get something like this, where you're not necessarily expecting the guy to take the easy in.
And there's the start of my struggle right there.
Yeah, this is the start of a lot of people's struggles.
It's like
didn't know if caution was out, or
what's that?
I just don't know if they didn't know the caution was out, or
That's the only thing I can think, because I was on the brakes for quite a bit before I got rear-ended. I don't know what was going on there.
pretty sure you and the 88 James Danforth also got tied up in that.
Well, see, he's the one that got turned.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you just have a little bit of chaos going on in the restart. There's some people battling, getting down and on, and Hairman fell over.
And then this is where I got loose, and as you can see, my favorite throwback, my favorite Dell Jr. paint scheme from when I was a kid. Yeah, so here I got in a little too deep and spun out. Looking back, I probably should have just drove it through pit road instead of. I didn't think I was going to cause a caution because I just kind of sat there because I seen the field was coming. And I was just going to wait and let them go by before I got back on track, but they decided that to throw the caution away was the right decision. Like I said, I didn't even contemplate going down pit roads. It probably would have been the exact same end up, except the caution wouldn't have came out. But it is what it is.
Happens. Yeah, it looks like you were dirt racing. I think you jumped the cushion. It was game over.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And like we were saying, that the way that they had this, you about loosen the center of the corner. You get down on the brakes a little bit and loosen the center of the corner, and kind of create havoc coming out.
With what Braxton was saying about the street stocks and then these cars, this track almost races like a dirt track where you're almost trying to find where the grip is.
Pretty much, yeah.
Just trying to step out of there.
Because I know where I usually like to run it is about where Levi's running, is where you tend to do. It was so, like that setup was so loose, I had to go actual lane above that to tighten the car up. Even with the brake bias adjusted a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely it was an interesting setup and an interesting track to go along with it. It made for some interesting racing.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have them a bit like single filed now, kind of not necessarily calming down, but like not going as aggressive. And then the 24.
It's, as you were saying, that just kind of pretty much Hail Mary said under.
He saw his opportunity and he took it. He saw his opportunity. He saw that McDonald's. He was going to McDonald's entrance. He opened the door for him. He's like, "Thank you much, sir," and went there.
You can tell I recorded this when I wasn't in my regular studio. Oh, yeah, we got some contact there, but no, there's some Hail Marys and they would slide up, and we'll see in a minute. When those classic cases got high and overcorrected it.
It's the same kind of thing with the street stocks I was saying, where these things have a sway. It's just their sway is a bit tighter than the street stocks, so it's a lot easier to exit that sway.
Well, so these, I actually personally, I almost find it easier to actually correct the late models than I do the street stocks. And I feel, like I said, I think that's because of the tire model that they use for the street stocks. I think is more tended towards a bias ply instead of, and these ones are more of a radial, which have a little bit more forgive. And I know when they brought these new bodies on these late models, it made it a little bit easier too because of the downforce.
The best way to explain it is like the street stocks have like is like grip, 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 none. And then the late models is like grip, grip, less grip, and then none. So you can feel it start to lose itself a little bit, and then you can kind of correct it.
Yeah.
I don't know how half this field's tires and bodies survived 120 odd laps.
No, we had me, like I said, I was down getting damage and everything, so I was taking tires probably more than I should have or whatever. And so during the last part of the race, probably by this point I already used 2 of the 3 sets, and just because I was coming in damage and keep forgetting not to take tires majority. So during the last quarter of the race, I was pretty much just trying to keep tires on the thing. Come to find out afterwards, I was just so loose that I couldn't really actually get after it. But
I saw some contact in the back there. Someone scraped the wall or something. They seem to have saved it, so.
Yeah, there's a couple that's, I know that's, Potts kind of did that. Dylan Potts did that. I know Benson Weaver also did that at some point.
It's like, You
Oh.
hold concept. Well, oh
That was
my.
that's when the leaders crashed and took out 4 or 5 cars.
He almost took off the front of Rops. Sorry. So I kind of jumbled up the field a little bit.
Yeah, you had some, and as I said, that took out some good cars. That was up towards the field all night, and then brought some more different cars with the 53 of Chris French. And Levi Cox is out there, and it's like James Barker's just starting to come in the 28.
Between the Charlotte race and this, Ryan Phillips didn't have the luckiest week this week. Like, Ryan Phillips in the 27, he was having a hard old go.
It happens.
You have your on weeks, you have your off weeks. It happens to everybody. I'm proud of him for, again, he turned on his radio, Chumbawamba was playing, he get knocked down, but he get up again. And he got up again.
Off a restart, if I remember correctly, somewhat like we were talking about, just scraping the wall, and they called the caution because of it. They never did catch it on the screen.
There's two drivers that really stand out to be having like hard luck, but still going at it the best they got, and that's Ryan Phillips and James Danforth in the 88. Those two, they usually no fault of their own. They just get unlucky, but you keep trying.
Well, yeah, it's just keep grinding away as you can see the field.
There's a hornet's nest over there.
Oh, it was a hornet's nest. Okay, it's funny because most of these cars got damaged during that last caution.
You got damaged cars trying to hold on. You got okay cars that avoid the wreck in the back. They're like, all right, it's time to go. And that just leads to the hornets.
Yeah. So O'Toole, I know, was fairly clean. Said David Hill had some damage that was right in front of me. Then Caleb Hill, I think, also had some, in the 01 also had some damage. Then Dade, again, Dade Grajewski, I know, had some damage because we were fighting back. Oh, right there.
So we got it.
Oh, Jacob Phillips has got hammered. I forgot about that one.
He saw that window closing Indiana Jones style, but he hit a ripple.
So that during this race he had a rough go too. I think he's had a rough go. As the 53 of Chris French gets out to the jump again. James Barker behind me in the 28. Oh, and then this is when I got squeezed coming off the restart. Can't remember what actual camera view I got here on this one, but yeah, I got majorly squeezed right there. Was it Grout? I tried it. I got a little bit loose and I tried to correct it, and he tried to take it 3 wide and just kind of squeezed me into me.
Yeah. I don't think Dade knew you were 3 wide, so he thought.
I don't think so either.
Just 3 cars occupying the same space. Never usually works well.
No, especially at this track because you're all slipping and sliding into the corner majority, just the way this track is. So when that happens, when you're 3 wide, one gets loose, it just kind of becomes a squeeze play like what happened there.
I mean, as this race goes on, there's just more undrivable tarmac. You see the marbles growing up on the top side there that's going to keep creeping downwards, squeezing these cars closer together.
Everyone's starting to get loose at this point. Ooh, like that right there. Talk about squeeze play.
Ooh, he saved it. Talk about squeeze play.
It's like, looked like Barker. His front end wasn't gripping up. Oh, another one. There's another one. Yep. Like that. I think. And then Terzak. Oh, yep. He thought better of that one.
He thought of it. He was like, "No, oh, never mind. We're taking it.
Yeah, we're taking it. We got the momentum." Oh.
Now we just there's now one goal for that 15-car Terzak, and it's run away.
That's pretty much it. Oh, Bart
15's thinking
really loose right there.
The 15's thinking run away. About half the field is thinking we gotta chase that man, and half the field is thinking I gotta hold on to this goddamn thing.
Oh, there it goes.
That was a good old punt to the wall. Rattle his cage a little bit. It's got pure concrete wall, so that's gotta hurt a little bit. He's gonna come into next week with a hurt shoulder, or
They got Titan smashed wall on that one.
Levi looked like he was trying to test out the top end, and he's like, "Nope, that's not working." That's the thing about this late model series, is that with the setup these cars have on it, and shout out to the guys who make the Spark setups, they make for entertainment. I'll tell you that much. And you can't. There's no clicking down laps. There's always intensity happening because rather somebody's trying to hold on to the damn thing to not wreck, or
like
they're chasing each other, like so.
Yes. So James was just holding that car up for quite a bit right there. Tried the hardest to keep it up, and then looks like he got loose and settled the corner and got ran over.
I don't think people were expecting him to have that much of a loose car, so I wasn't expecting him to check up that much and just went underneath them. Guy behind him, excuse me, I didn't see who it was, but he saw 28 getting a bit loose and was like, "Buddy, you need new tires." So I'll jack a car up in the air and they can take the tires off you. I will be your jack.
Yes. Try to think if this was the last restart or. Want to say if it's not very close. Nope. Okay, I think we got one or two more because there goes Benson around. We're gonna go back and take a look at that. Yep, as I just gingerly come by. Looks like the one that Benson Weaver goes in.
Benson doing his thing, like I said last episode. He just quietly makes it way through the front, and then
something like that happens. Yeah. And then turns into a complete yard sale. Now, like, based on I'm pretty sure everyone but the front 2 or 3 has damage.
Yeah. There's like, I said this last week. I'll give huge props to Benson. He has the ability to just silently move through the field. just getting up to the front. And usually he stays at the front, but this race the field decided, nah, he ain't staying up there, buddy. And he just got caught in his own unluckiness.
Did right there, Jake Grout got all the way up to third.
There was a lot of comers and goers this race.
Oh, yep. Oh, yeah. I know one of Caleb Hill came up through the field quite well too.
Yes.
Because he was back there with me for a bit.
He just kept that thing relatively clean after the first few wrecks, and then just survived, and now he's here. The main objective was survive.
That's pretty much it, yeah. It's funny, as we go along through this, you can see some of these cars got the front fenders bent in, and it almost looks like modifieds almost. Especially at the way they're kind of swinging out now, too.
If these things start having roll cages outside of their own, out of the body, I'm going to have concerns.
I mean, we haven't seen cars the last couple of weeks completely dog walking through.
That is true.
That's so hard to drive. I got one the other day that was like that. It was so hard to drive. I was doing an official that I was in the truck races that I think it was Auto Club that was that race I was talking to you earlier that I got damage, and it was completely dog walking, and I had to keep coming in and fixing damage and everything on it.
Yeah, I don't think you had any dirt late models appearing in this race, but
Nope. Oof.
There's another one.
I think that was another driver tried to shoehorn his way into. Yep, pretty much. Looks like there's 31 of Jacob Phillips getting 48.
William.
Yep. William Cameron. Yep.
Cameron. Just barely. Was on him, and I don't think the 48 knew he was there. Or the 48 didn't want to give it to him once too.
It's always usually one or the other.
Yes.
Terzak gets out to a jump again over at Levi Cox.
Terzak had that restart. He had that written down. He was studying that thing with a magnifying glass or something, because he was out there, shot out of a cannon.
Gone. Yep. At this 2 point of the race, like I said, everyone was damaged. I think was just trying to hang on for their life.
It's got to be coming down to pretty much all the end, ain't it?
It's I'm pretty because I think that was
the last of the chaos.
That was 31 of Jacob Phillips getting into the wall. That what you heard in the background there, and I'm pretty sure that's the last 2 or 3 laps.
Once it got near the end, it was kind of just, alright, let's calm it down, let's just bring it to the end. And then we'll turn up the intensity again at the end, at like the last few laps.
That's pretty much what these races are.
Benson Weaver again, just silently making his way through.
We might have a little.
The marbles.
So we might have a little bit left. So I remember correctly, he battles back till about like up there quite a bit.
Insane how that man does this. Yeah, caution's out, so something happened somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
As we try to find where the wreck is.
Yeah,
There's Jacob Phillips in the pits.
Yep. Yep. Oh, there it is. Yep. Okay. Yeah. 64 gets turned.
Justin Nahu got a bit sideways, maybe with some help.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yep. Patrick O'Toole.
Or Bob Belshaw, him too.
Or Bob, yeah.
But no, it just looks like he tried to. It's like a super speedway where you try to cut in line in the lane and didn't expect him to do that, or just didn't get checked up in time and just got under him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Kyle Kurzak knows how to do restarts. All I need to message him in because my restarts not good, god awful. The green flag will go; it'll go a lap later. I need to get in contact with some of these fellas to learn how to restart.
Same.
Yeah, Kyle Kurzak comes out to an end, and then
So here's our end results for that race. Like I said, Kyle Turzak turns out to be the winner, followed by Levi Cox, Caleb Hill, Chris French, David Hill, Jake Grout, Bob Belshaw, Clint Walker, Tristan Mayhew, James Barker, William Cameron, and then me coming out top 12.
I'll take it from here. You got from 13th, you got Robert Brost, and 14th, you got Benson Weaver, and 15th, you got Tom Lickert, and 16th, you have Jacob Phillips in 31 car, and then in 17th, you got the 2 car of Dylan Potts. 18th of number 6, Dave Jadisky. 19th, Clifton Simmons. 20th of Aiden Neese. 21st of Ryan Phillips, again with the hard luck for this week. He'll get up there, don't worry. And then on the 22nd, my buddy, Patrick O'Toole, sorry. The wreck at Charlotte may have jumbled his cage a little bit. This is excusable, okay? The 23rd, you got the 80 of James Danforth. And then rounding out the field in 24th, you have the 33 of Justin Brooks.
Which I don't think he actually raced. I think he practiced with us, but he didn't actually race. It happens.
Right. He was on the starting board, rather than I made a lap or not. He still got 24th place points. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, yeah, that was an interesting one. I was like, I've always liked North Wilkesboro, just because, like I said, it's a very old school track. I enjoy watching it on TV or whatever when the cars tour or any of those late models or whatever is always there. So that's one I've always, no matter how crap I turn out to be at this one, I wasn't, but it was fun. It brings us to the last portion of tonight's program, and that's with the Spark Pocket Crew Chief Winter Series Xfinity Series cars. They were at Sebring for 24 laps. Ooh, yeah, that's
24 laps of Sebring.
Yeah, that's a hard no for me.
It's a unique race. I honestly, these drivers all get a pat on the back for trying, because this track is so rough and so bumpy, and these cars don't handle this track well, these Xfinity cars. So I look out, I I really pat him on the back for actually like trying and like doing well or like just making laps. Really, I wouldn't.
I thought I was like, It's like I've played with the Xfinity cars quite a bit. I've done a little bit on Sonoma and all that, but it's like, I'm not too familiar. I've only done it maybe a handful of times in other games, Sebring. I was like, I'm gonna stay away from this one.
You take a purpose-built race road car, and they have struggles here. You put an Xfinity car that's meant for ovals and Sebring don't mix. There's nothing similar between those two,
No.
other than maybe being paved.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, we'll hop into it now. As we get the start with the 50th Jacob Bradley. And it was the 15th of our good buddy Braxton DeWeese right behind him.
Heard from him earlier.
Yep.
Bradley was on something this race.
He was money all race long.
You know how I said I had Charlotte circled on my calendar? I feel like he had this race just circled in red ink.
Yeah, same. As you see here, he starts getting out the single file pretty quick. Everyone, I figured at this point, he's just kind of getting in and let's just get a rhythm going down and start with laps and everything. As we're looking at the 52 of Johnny Rapp. Ooh, so we have one off already with 20 of Chris Smith. First lap.
You have, like, about half the field was excited for this, and half the field was like, I'm more comfortable in ovals, so let's just get this one done. So there's a lot of, like missed braking line for the first few laps, so people started figuring out where they can stop and where they can't.
So Devin Jack, I know, was another one that was up there all night. As we see the 60 spin out.
Steve's just
Steve
got
Best.
it.
Yeah,
Got
he's
a
got.
bit bound up in his own equipment and just couldn't keep hold of her.
Yep. You see 39 of Sean Mulholland also kind of got into brakes and couldn't turn.
Tom's going home collecting.
Yep.
So as I said, you have a lot of these oval guys trying to figure out how to drive this track. They had a fair amount of practice beforehand, but practice and race are two very different things.
Well, what happens is because your tires get hot and everything and start sliding. I mean, you'll see this in numerous occasions. I hear people just lock up the brakes or get on the gas too early, as is there the 42 of Paul Thomas.
Just wait until the track's cleared and comes out back around.
Then Tom gets back out there.
Look, he's getting prepared for next season when we debut the Spark Xfinity Dirt Race. He's just getting ready for that.
See, Chase Berry gets in front of Braxton right there.
Now, at any rate, that is nothing official. I am talking out of my ass. You just see them just holding on to this thing. Like, there's something about Sebring and Xfinity cars that it's a rough ride.
Well, Sebring's rough on everything because it's just as rough as it's going to be. It's pretty crazy. Oh Lord. Jacob locks him up.
Yeah.
I think that was back in 10.
Old friend Robert's trying to swing it through the S's and just
Yep.
gets a bit of a tag going through and
think that
still
was-
going through it.
I think that was Levi Cox that tagged him in the center of the corner up for, I think that was 13th, 14th at the time. And then,
Roberts was not in control of that thing when he got tagged, so
and it was, we're about lap 13 of the 24, and we start having pit stops for our front runners. Jacob Bradley comes in.
yeah, with what I said last episode where there's like 20 some odd ideas, this race proved that. Everybody had a different idea how they wanted to drive this race. Some wanted to be aggressive, get up front, fast pauses, some wanted to slay back. There was different pit strategies. I was tuning into some comms, and there was a lot of talk of like, do I split the race? Do I extend this tire a bit longer to have more tire at the end? Do I try to short pit? Like there was like about 60 some odd different ideas within like 25 drivers.
Yeah. To me, I mean, it looked like a regular road course that you would see is like you pretty much split it down the middle. Just, I mean, I know the Jacob, it was a couple laps. He waited a little bit longer, but at the same point, he was out so far that it really wasn't too detrimental to him.
Yeah, he had a free stop. I'm pretty sure Evan Pienta went quite a while before pitting.
I said he was a lap or two after.
Yeah.
And then you see 52 of Johnny Rapp. He walks in, come down the backstretch, and then just brings it right immediately down pit road after that.
I think that decision was made for him.
A little bit, yep. And this is where the 55 of Pienta gets the lead, with Bradley just reeling him in.
Keep in mind, Bradley's taking a pit stop. Pienta hasn't.
Yeah, well, yeah. I say he came out third. Bradley came out third regardless after his pit stop. That's how far out he was. So
That's
he just kind of,
insane.
yep. Even like I said, because majority of people pitted about halfway through. So you're talking about lap 12. Let's see. Bropes again, locking him up.
There were some heavy braking zones that some people were not ready for.
Ooh.
Almost tagging the idiot of Danforth.
He legitimately gave him some room there. He get calm a break on that one.
Rob saw Danforth coming in and he just wanted to make sure he was awake. He's like, "You awake, bud?" He's like, "Yep, yeah, I'm good." Two very similarly colored cars too.
Yeah, it took a minute to figure out which one was whose for a second.
Nico just being a little too early on the gas and just looping that thing around.
Yep.
Not even trying to limp at the pit road. He's like, I'm getting towed.
Yep, pretty much. This was back for about 10th place. So Chris Smith, Laura Wiseman, and then so I think that was Peter Stewart.
Newcomer to the Xfinity Series, Laura, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she joined us when we did our crossover.
Yeah. And we had that, what do we call it? Spark and plate.
Whatever
Spark
that was.
markers and plate. Yeah. Spark markers and plate is what we called it. Daytona 500.
That was a fun one. Smith is starting to come back through the pack after his lap 1 excursion.
He paid the limits early and was like, "Alright, let's go."
Because this track, for one of the ones that wasn't creating a lot of havoc, it was sure some nice close racing.
Hmm. No, you definitely had some good racing amongst the just trying to hold on to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the 9 trying to ham down that 84 car.
Mm-hmm. They were at this like 3 or 4 laps before I even got to them. Ooh. Tell happy 84 right there. Then it's
Still going at it.
still going at it. Ooh, Laura.
Just a tag on the end going into the braking zone, and that was just enough to turn her.
Probably keeping her eye on in the mirror and misjudged that turning in the braking zone.
These are battle for 4th place.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, our leader's probably in he's already packed up going to the next track probably.
It seemed like that.
Just 3 hungry boys looking for that 4th place.
These Barry and Rap just kind of swapped it.
This race has been the battle of similar looking paint schemes. Between the 5 and the 88 and the 52 and the I can't tell what number that is.
It's up 46.
46. Between those 2 cars, they look pretty well the exact same.
Oh, got off in the grass, brought Johnny right back around him.
Johnny saw his opportunity, he took it. I'd use the McDonald's store analogy, but I think I've done that one to death.
And these two were pretty much nose to tail this whole race between the 15 of Braxton Deweese and then the 49 of Devin Jack.
Jack knows how to do road racing. See, him being from a home province, I gotta take pride in him knowing some road racing, knowing how to get around. That's the thing, right? Where he's from, I've been where he's from. The roads are like Sebring. He's got plenty of practice like this. There's bumps everywhere.
His last couple laps, everything just kind of gingerly out. These two, like I said, the whole practically nose to tail this whole race.
Just trying to study each other, but every time they think they got it figured out, they change the questions.
It's like Johnny kind of fell off to the back of these guys the last couple laps.
After Johnny had an intense battle, his car was probably a bit worn out. I can't go into a battle again. Just Bradley running away with it.
He's the last couple laps, he just kind of ran away. I mean, he ran away. Let's be honest, he ran away the whole race. It's like the only time I think he didn't have the lead is about 2 or 3 laps during pit stops.
Yeah.
And you'll see in a minute. We'll see how much he actually ran away with it.
Yeah. At this point, the 50 spotter's fallen asleep. He's like, there's nothing I need to do anymore.
That's right. We're coming down to the checkered flag.
He's found a nearby lake and he started fishing. He's like, "You got this, bud."
It looks like Braxton finally got. Oh, it looks like Jack overcooked it going into that last corner. Pretty much let Braxton
Trying to give it
take up the
all
second.
they could do.
That's
They were giving it all they had to get around each other.
Yep. All right, as I said, Jacob Bradley comes in home with the win. So our buddy Braxton Deweese comes home in second. Devin Jack comes home third. Johnny Rapp in fourth. Dustin Bodley in fifth. Chase Berry in sixth. Evan Pienta in seventh. Levi Cox in eighth. Jake Mockey brings home ninth. Peter Stewart in 10th position. Chris Smith brought it back up to 11th. And Dylan LeBeau brings it home 12th.
And then the 13th, you got Laura Wiseman. 14th, you got Ryan Phillips. 15th, you got Robert Brost. And 16th, you got Ellis Thomas. 17th, you got Rob Liddell. 18th is James Danforth. 19th is Tom Lickard, who we missed it during the replays, but he tried an advanced cooling technique where he hit the tire, his hood flew off, and he's like, "I'm good to go now." That engine never dropped over, never went over 180. He had that thing figured out. I'm pretty sure some fans going home with a boot hood, being like, "I got Tom's hood." And then 21st, you got Paul Thomas. And 22nd, you got Sean Mulholland. 23rd is Jacob Phillips. 24th is Jay Heisman. 25th, Roy Jones. 26th, Patrick O'Toole. And 27th is Steve Vess, who had an unfortunate accident at the beginning of the race, which it's feel bad for him. He's gonna rally back. He's gonna make it good next race. So I believe in him.
Yeah, next race is there at Charlotte, so it should be a barn burner.
He got third in the mini stocks at Charlotte, so I believe in him. Drives
there you go.
very differently, but I believe in him.
Almost triple the power.
Yeah.
So yeah, drive definitely different. Oh
You try to
man.
pump traffic at Charlotte next video cars. It's not going to go good.
That's funny. All right. All right, that's pretty much our rundown of what happened over the week. You have any closing thoughts you want to say, Jacob?
There were some intense races this week for just across the board. The Charlotte race was probably the most like we've had some aggressive mini stock races. I'll tell you that much. This is the most chaotic race we've had. And you had a guy that started the last caution in 7th. I think maybe 10th. I don't remember. And won, I think.
Welcome to restrictor plate type racing right there.
Yeah. Next race, I might just put a horseshoe on the back of my bumper because I'm pretty sure I had that up me in the vertical race.
Yeah, no kidding.
You had Braxton Deweese pop on for his insight for how these street stocks run and how to make them fast. I believe in him. He's gonna go all races, all wins. Then
yeah, most likely, yeah.
Late models were intense. Xfinities were fun to watch. It was fun watching these guys go somewhere where they shouldn't be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, this next week, we had the light models. We have it road coursing. At Edmund Streets, I guess they were both at doing some road coursing, and then, like I said, Xfinity be out Charlotte, so that'll be a fun one. I'm still debating if I want to pop into that one and do that one. I am gonna do Vegas when the Pocket Crew Chief Winter Series heads to Vegas, because, like I said, that's my home track, so I gotta pretty much rep.
And the mini stocks are hitting up Langley, which, after going from a track that I had circled This is the track that I was like, I'm not expecting much out of this one.
Langley's always fun too.
It's
I say
so
that
fun.
drove completely different too, compared to what I'm used to at Langley.
It was definitely something to because you're going from a heavy banked mile and a half of Charlotte to a flat, I think less than half mile Langley.
Hmm.
So it's definitely going to be something to like get used to.
Yeah. So I have something to look forward to for that next one. All right, that about does it for us tonight. We want to thank of all of our sponsors throughout the whole our whole series: Rescreen LLC, Brookman's Racing, Number One Hero Cards, Overcut Sim Planner, Goon Squad, Evan Pienta Designs, RB Designs, Adrenaline Captures, Pucka Crew Chief, Probe Enterprises, and that's about it. It's like they're very good sponsors and partners, so we have to always extend our thanks to them.
Yes, they've been great to us. We've been great to them. It's been,
Mhm.
they scratch our back, we shake their hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, that about does it for the Overdrive Automotive Media. This is Cam Gillens and uh, Jacob Nickerson, and thank you for joining us. And thank you, and hopefully you join us next time. Thanks.
Have a good one.